Salutations all, this is Christy Thomas and this is Intro to Interpersonal Communication. This video is discussing the schedule and the assignment for week 11, which the dates are March 21st through March the 27th. This week we're going over conflict. I did a video lesson and it just discusses the elements of conflict, the misconceptions, and the process of conflict. And there's more to that. There's also, I very, very quickly discuss the different styles of managing conflict. But again, there's a PowerPoint presentation and a Word document. So, it's chapter 8 in our book, and it's conflict. And let me give you, conflict management skills is what it's called. I just say conflict. So check out everything on that in the content folder. Now for the assignment, I always say use film or TV series as your examples for the most part. If you want to use a personal experience, you are more than welcome to. I just say film and TV because some people aren't comfortable discussing aspects or elements of their personal life, and that's fine. So for this assignment, using the theories and processes, phases that we discussed and learned in this lesson, I want you to pick a film. And in this film, I want you to discuss the conflict process. From the beginning, like, oh, there's a problem, to the aftermath, as we discuss, as is discussed in this lesson. So, think of rom-com films, but not all rom-com films. There are more films that have a conflict process. But a visible conflict. And remember, conflict is a disagreement between two interdependent parties over the achievement of goals or desires. So it's not just in the romantic film, a romantic world. You can have conflict in the family dynamic, you can have conflict in friends, you can have conflict with work. So choose a film that really highlights the conflict process. Break that film down. You don't break the whole film down. The conflict, break the process down as it is in the book. And the process, hold on, let me open up the book that about the process itself. So, which I went over this in the lesson. There's the source, the prior conditions. This is the stage where it sets up for disagreement. This is where it's starting to bubble. Hey, something's not jiving. Then there's the frustration awareness. That's the second stage. This is where someone has become acutely knowledgeable that there is something not going on 100%. Something's not vibing with them. So this is where, so far we have the process of where we're starting to realize and then what we realize. Then there's active conflict. This is where it's brought to attention, both verbally and non-verbally, the conflict. Hey, I'm not happy. Hey, you're a jerk. Hey, you are untrustworthy. Hey, we need to talk. It's out there. So the first stage is starting to bubble. The second stage is we are aware that something is not kosher. I don't want to say kosher. Something's not where we want it to be. Then there's it's out there. It's out there verbally and non-verbally. There is conflict. It doesn't necessarily mean there is screaming. It's not an instant scream and yell fest, but it's, hey, this is not where I want to be. This is not how it should be. This makes me unhappy. The conflict is known by both parties. Then the conflict, that whole stage, and that could be the back and forth, the escalation and de-escalation of the conflict itself. Like, we know it's out there. What do they come back with? And it just kind of builds up. And then we jump to the end, which is resolution. How is it resolved? Do the two parties stay together? Do they stay friends? Do they stay romantic partners? Are they moving toward their happy ending? Or because of the conflict, do they go their separate paths? Do they go and travel down their own path, their own way into the world? No longer as a unit but as separate. We've broke the interdependent and we're now moving in independent. We broke the interdependent and moved into the independent realm. And then it comes up with the follow-up, you know. So if they resolve to stay together, if it's a romantic relationship, is like a wedding? Is it this or that? Is it the dance? Whatever the case may be here. You know. Or if they're friends, do we see something down the, like, do they do a flash forward 20 years down the road? Or do, you know, it's going to be a really weird example. Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. Fabulous film. If you've not seen it, it's cute. Came out in the 90s. There's several different conflicts in the film, but the point is that the two girls are going to their high school reunion. So while en route onto their high school reunion, this starts to bubble in their own friendship that maybe something's not right. And then they have the frustration awareness. It's a simple statement where they're saying, oh, we'll make up this line. We'll say we invented Post-its. Well, what did I do? Well, you know, you will say it was your idea to make them yellow. Why? You saying I'm not smart enough? And then it kind of has this little squabble, and from that, the active conflict arises. Oh, I'm so cuter than you. Oh, I'm totally cuter than you. Da 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 da. And we have this conflict, and then it fast forwards. I don't want to say fast forwards, but the next in the film is that they're at the high school reunion, and you see that Romy is getting made fun of by the popular girls from high school yet again. She's made up this lie. She gets caught up in the lie, so that just kind of adds to it. And Michelle, even though she was mad at her in the car, she comes to the aid of her friend. And then they go off together, and they resolve their issues by saying, I didn't think it was bad. I thought, I love our life, you know. I love you, my best friend, da 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 da. And then they go onto the dance floor, and they have an amazing great time. And we see the follow-up is that I don't want to say we're given validation, but, you know, the people that were mean to them in high school kind of got their karma hit them up in the end. And in the very end of the film, the follow-up is that they've created this, like, fashion store because they are always making their own clothes all in high school, and that's like a big underlining throughout the film. So, I know, really random tangent, but it gives you an idea. So for the assignment, I want you to pick a film, and I want you to discuss the process. It's basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stage process. It's starting to bubble, the end, not unhappy, but the idea that something's not 100% is starting to bubble. And then so one party becomes aware of the issue. Then there's the third part, which is the active conflict, that all parties know that there is a conflict here. You know, it's verbal, nonverbal, it's all there. The conflict itself. The next stage, which is the resolution stage. What happens? How is it resolved? How is the conflict resolved? Good or bad, how is it resolved? And then the follow-up. If there's a follow-up. Some things may not have a follow-up. It may just be they walked away from each other, happily ever after. You can choose any film, animated film, whatever the case may be. All right, folks. Again, this is for week 11, chapter 8, conflict management skills. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We'll chat about it. Have an amazing week. Thank you. Bye.